Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've not been with me before for the Healing Hour Live, I am a coach specifically for women who want to stay and reconcile after infidelity. I know, seems like a crazy thing that nobody would be able to do, but I've done it. I know that it can be done. I know that you can do it too. So I want to teach you what I've learned, give you a little inspiration, make you feel like, okay, I actually can heal this and get to a better place because you can. It absolutely is possible. You just have to know what to do. You just have to have a simple formula. And I got that formula for you, okay? Even if you don't work with me, I have written it all down. I have written down exactly how to heal and to reconcile after infidelity. Right this second, it is at your fingertips. If you're with me on Instagram, it is in my bio. If you are with me on Facebook, it is right there in the pinned post. You can get a copy of my how to heal and reconcile after infidelity formula. All right, so get that. First and foremost, before you do anything else, if you are within the sound of my voice and you are trying your very best to heal after this trauma that has happened to you, get my PDF, get that, all right? I see you over there on Instagram looking good. Glad you're here with me today. Also, who's that on Facebook? Michelle, you said you'd see me here tonight. You're with me. I love it. A woman that follows through. All right, fantastic. Wow. Like I said, this is the trauma that you have been through. And what I want to do is I want to walk you through some things that will help you to deal with the trauma, help you to deal with your body and what your body's response is to that trauma. If you don't know what your body is doing, you can't really change any of these responses. But if you know what your body is doing, like we did last week in the Tricky Triggers Challenge, if you were there for it, you were there. If you missed it, you just don't know. But we were working on that, figuring out what our bodies do when we're triggered, what they do once we've been traumatized like this, and the things that we can do to counteract that automatic response in our bodies. And the first thing that we can do is simple. Do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? If you've not been doing your deep breathing, I need you to be on this, okay? I am going to ask every single time we get together, have you been doing your deep breathing? Give me some feedback. Give me some love if you have been doing your deep breathing. And if you have not, what's the problem? What's the hold up? All right. Why can't we give ourselves that little bit of time to take care of ourselves? What's going on with that? All right. It's maybe about 5 minutes a day, five times, 5 times a day is what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for like a lot. It's just a couple of minutes during your day to take care of you. You need to learn how to deep breathe because that is the breathing that is I am calm, I am safe. If you are freaking out, you are doing breathing that is more shallow, more short. You don't fully exhale, you don't fully inhale and get all the oxygen that you need. So we've got to start the deep breathing. I need you to get on that. All right. Do it with me one time. Well, actually, 3 times. We're going to do it together for the sake of time. If you need a guide, you need somebody to go through it with you, I have a video on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube. It says start here and breathe. Okay. It's one of my first videos. Go ahead up there and grab that video, and it walks you through 5 times. And that's it. That's all you got to do, that 5 times, and then plan on doing that 5 times a day. All right. But we're going to do it together. What we do is 4-7-8 breathing. Now, you can do whatever type of breathing pattern you'd like as long as you're doing it. Okay. I don't care what pattern you use, but I use 4-7-8. That's the best one for my little brain. Okay. So, what I do is blow out first. We're going to blow out, try and get out all that excess carbon dioxide that's built up in your lungs after you've been traumatized, after you've been triggered. It builds up. That excess carbon dioxide actually makes your brain feel like there's something wrong with you. And so it'll add to your panic. So we've got to get that regulated out so that our bodies know that we're actually physically safe. Okay. So, first thing is blowing out, and then make the noise, make the whoosh sound when you are blowing so that your brain knows when you make that sound, that's the sound of, oh, I'm about to calm down. Everything must be all right because I'm doing my deep breathing. I heard that sound. And I will bet you anything your honey will start to notice too. My husband will notice if I'm doing my deep breathing, looking at me like, okay, what I do? Did I do something wrong? And now it's not him, but it used to be him, right? But he can pick up on it. He knows when I start doing my deep breathing, I'm trying to fight against that fight or flight response. I'm trying not to say anything that will be really, really negative because my brain has been triggered off in some type of way. So if he hears me do that, he knows to come and be comforting. All right. So if yours knows that you are trying your very best to keep a handle on yourself, just to be able to get a grip on you, he's going to recognize that you're doing that and he's going to want to be more helpful about it. All right. All right, so we're gonna do our breathing. Blow out, inhale for a count of 4, hold that breath for a count of 7 so your body can use the oxygen, and then blow out again for a count of 8, and we'll spin it around 3 times together, all right? All right, first things first, blow out. In through your nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you are doing your deep breathing? Should feel pretty good, okay? Should be relaxing, should be something that gives you a little oxygen to your brain, helps you to think a little bit clearer, calms your body, lets your body know, okay, we don't need to be in fight or flight right now. We are all right. All right. It's nothing bad about breathing. Okay. It will help you with all sorts of pain. Try it every time. Try that first to get that oxygen into your body, to start to relax your muscles. That tells your brain what state you're actually in, instead of your brain just telling your body that, oh no, we're freaking out, we're having a hard time. If you can tell your body to tell your brain will have to believe you because your body is designed to go ahead and do this automatically. If you have calmed down that much from a little deep breathing, it must be real. You must not be in any danger. Everything must be okay. All right. So that's what we're doing. We're proving it to our bodies and to our brains that we are safe in that moment when we do our deep breathing. Okay. Need you to do that. Jump on that. Be doing that every day. Okay. Second thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, I need you to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? If you have not just sat down with your journal this week, shame on you. I'm going to spank your hand. Okay. Sit down, use your journal. I need you to do that. It is one of those things that you think doesn't do much. Okay. But I'm trying to tell you, you are a scientist once you have put this data down on paper. Okay. You put it down, you can go back and research, you can go back and look at, okay, what was I triggered by? What was I having a hard time with? What questions was I stuck on? You can go back and get the answers to a lot of the things that your brain is going to keep bringing up. All right. If you haven't noticed yet, there's a lot of loops that go on with this trauma. When you are trying to deal with it, you're going to talk to him, but then you're going to talk to him about the exact same thing again because you want to compare stories and do all of that. The comparing stories thing, asking all those questions, it doesn't work. We're going to get to that in a second. But if you start writing this stuff down in your journal, you don't have to go back and ask him about something that he probably doesn't remember at all because he was in an altered state of mind too. you can go back to what you found out in your journal in the moment when you were emotional about it, and the thing that you heard at that moment. You can go back, you can go over it, you can see if it makes sense to you, if it's true. You can calm down and look back on it and be like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. There's a lot of good reasons to put things down in your journal. All right. First and foremost, your brain is not as quick as you think it is on this trauma. It's going to keep on feeling like it remembers things that it doesn't. So if you are writing things down, you are sure of those memories. They are not being changed and altered by the trauma and the things going on physically in your brain as your brain is changing from this trauma. Okay. So if you are writing this stuff down, you can go back to it. You know what you really heard. You know what was said. You remember the entire conversation because you got notes. Okay. Date, time, level of anxiety. I need those three things every time you're journaling. Date, time, level of anxiety. Date and time at the top, level of anxiety before and after, because if you actually journal, you'll get less anxious. You'll be sitting there, you'll be putting pen to paper, you'll be getting the thoughts out of your brain, and it will calm you down. All right. So you will know how much it helped every single time you do it. It is one of those things that will be reinforced because you will see that it is working in the moment. Okay. You just got to actually do it to see that, right? I know a lot of people think that the journaling is not important. It's one of the most important things, all right? Let's see. Level of anxiety, 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down these streets naked. Okay. That is how bad the 10 is. It is a loss of control. It is, I am throwing things, I am screaming at the top of my lungs. I don't care if the neighbor's here. That is where you are if you are at a 10. If you are not there, do not write down 10. That is not correct. You might be a 9, but you are not a 10 if you were sitting down writing in a journal. Okay. All right. 10 is I have lost it. Okay. Don't put down 10 until you are screaming banshee. Okay. All right. So, got that? We need to work on our journaling. Do your journaling. Third thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together is develop an attitude of gratitude. Okay. I need you to work on that. Okay. Your brain, after this trauma, is trained to look for the negative. You will be consistently in everything in your entire life looking for the negative because of the effect of trauma on your brain. It is an automatic thing that your brain does. You being mindful about being grateful every single solitary day makes it so that that change does not stay stuck in your brain. Your brain does not get stuck thinking about the worst case scenario all the time. You are training it not to look for that. You're training it to look for the good things that make you feel happy, that make you feel glad that you're here on this planet, that you have these things in your life. Okay. Everything. And I want you to look from right in your immediate area as far out as you can, like as far out into the world as you can. I want you to be looking for those good, positive things that you're grateful for all the time. That's why I do Thirsty Thursday every week. I want to hear some good stuff from you. Let me know. I see you're here with me now. Let me know what good stuff is going on in your life this week. Because, honey, the good stuff is still there. Just because this bad stuff happened, just because this trauma has happened to you, does not mean that the good stuff is erased. And if you live your life not seeing any of the good stuff, then what kind of life is that? You're going to let this trauma ruin all of life for you for the rest of your life. That's just not even feasible. That's ridiculous. We shouldn't do that to ourselves. And it is doing it to yourself. It is a choice whether you functionally remember to look for good things or you just let your brain go on autopilot and do what it wants to do and think of all the negative. You are still making that choice to do it or to not do it. Okay. So if you are stuck because of a choice you've made. You got to make a different choice. Okay. And the first thing you can do to make a different choice is to get your gratitude together. Everything that you're grateful for. I am grateful for the internet. I am grateful for every single one of you. I am grateful that I even went through this. I am grateful that I had to go through this trauma to be able to explain to you how I healed from it, how I dug out of that hole. Okay, I'm fine with that. I am grateful that that happened to me, so I got to tell you. Okay, I can get to that point now. I'm 16 years later, almost 17 years later. I can get to that point now because I have been walking this healing path. I have been getting to the place where I am not hurt by this story anymore. I can tell you all that happened, and it doesn't make me cry. It doesn't crush me. It doesn't make me angry at him for days. It doesn't make me distrust him or anything. I can tell you the story, and I can tell you now that I healed, and I want that to be the bigger story. The fact that I healed, the stuff that he did was wild. Yes, it was. But the fact that I healed is the better story to tell. That's the story that I want to share. All right. I'm grateful. Look this. I'm grateful for mood rings. Look at this. I'm a grown woman. I get to have a mood ring. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I used to be struggling to get a mood ring. I got a good quality one now. I'm grateful for all sorts of things every day. So give it to me. Give me some good stuff that you are grateful for in the comments. All right. And if you hit the replay, hashtag replay, still let me know. Post it in the comments. If you do it this week, I'll tell about it next week. All right. All right. Last thing that I am always gonna tell you that you're probably not going to like is to stop asking all those damn questions. Okay? I promise you, there is no healing to be found in a question that you want to ask. I know that everything in you says ask the question. I need to know when, where, who, why, how did it happen? I know that your brain is screaming at you to do that. I am telling you, it is a trauma response. I am telling you, it does not help you heal. I am telling you, it makes it worse. You will be filling in all the answers to these questions. Your brain just wants ammo. That's all it's looking for. It is looking for reasons that you should not trust this person anymore. You should not be close to this person anymore. If you do that with anybody, you can find it. Okay. If you question them enough, if you ask them enough stories, you will find that nobody is really trustworthy. Okay. Nobody on this planet. There's a few human beings that try real hard to be honest, but most of us are not the most trustworthy of people to other people. All right. So you could find it if you kept questioning. That is what your brain is trying to do. It is not trying to help you heal. It is lying to you when it says that. When it tells you, oh, if you ask these questions, then I'm going to be all healed up. Just get these answers for me, Chief. That's all I need, and everything will be fine after that. Your brain is lying. It is lying to you. It is not doing that for that reason. It is doing this to collect more ammo. It wants to be able to fire off a shot at this person anytime they get a little close. That is what it's doing. So I need you to stop doing that. Now, I'm saying this is a trauma response. So it is kind of automatic, all right? And it will kind of bother you if you don't go ahead and ask a question. I'm not saying give in every time. I am saying some of the time you could try this, all right? This is the and, THEAND. You see it over there, the and. All right. These are questions. This is the healing day, the healing edition. It is for couples to heal after something has happened, to reconnect, to talk and become more intimate again, to make it a little better. So and you can get these on Amazon. They're like $30, I think, for a deck. There are 199 questions though. I've been using this deck for about 3 years. I don't think I've actually gone through all the questions in all the time that I've had the deck. Okay. You only need a couple. If you have that itch to scratch, you want to ask the questions, ask one of these instead. Okay. So I'll give you a couple of these that you could do. This one said, What's one experience you're glad that I had and why? All right. You might get this one, he might get this one. You might be able to answer, there was an experience you were glad that he had, but what's one experience you're glad I had and why? Isn't that a better question than the questions you want to ask? Wouldn't that be more constructive? Wouldn't that be less painful to hear the answer to? Yes. And it will satisfy the itch to ask a question. And so then you can calm that sensation down and not feel like you have to give into asking the questions that you're thinking of asking about the affair, how he was feeling, and what the sex was like, all of that. None of that helps. All right. None of the stuff you want to know about the affair helps. Not any of it. I know it seems like it should, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Next one is going to be, when does conflict arise between us? And what can we learn from those moments? See, you can talk about conflict, but it's a more a constructive question than the questions that you want to have. You want to ask questions about conflict you've already had and like get all the details. This is asking, okay, when the conflict arises, what do we learn from that in those moments? Making you think about it outside of just pain and trying to find a lesson. All right. And one more. Put yourself in my shoes. What do you see? Wouldn't you like that one? That was a good one, right? That's an excellent one right there. You want him to put himself in your shoes and tell you what he sees from your perspective. Wouldn't that be a much better question to ask than the ones you want to ask? The last 5 questions that you asked. This question right here, put yourself in my shoes, what do you see? Isn't this question better than all the other questions that you've been wanting to ask? All the other ideas that you've been having about this, everything that you want to talk about, that you want to clear up, none of those questions are as good as this question, right? I found better questions. This is my whole point. Instead of asking those destructive questions, the questions that your brain on trauma wants you to ask to reinforce the trauma, let's ask some healing questions. All right. Does that make sense to you? No questions if you can help it, but if you can't help it, get this deck. It will be a godsend. It will help you a lot more than you asking those questions you want to ask. All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints about any of that? The basics? Because that's what we always start with. I always want to remind you because a lot of people do not recognize that this is a trauma and there are specific things that you can do to heal from a trauma. And if you're doing those things consistently, it's faster. And I want you out of pain faster. That's what I want. Okay. That's what I am out here trying to do, is trying to get you out of pain faster than you're going. I want to get behind you and push. All right. So trust me when I say, if you do these 4 things, if you are working on these every day, you are challenging that damage that has been done in your brain. If you do this every day, if you do your deep breathing, if you 5 times a day, you do your journaling in the morning and at night, give yourself 5 minutes of journaling time. If you do your gratefulness practice, looking for the good instead of the bad, and you stop asking the questions that hurt you and make your pain worse, you will heal faster. You will heal faster. I can't explain it any better than that. So I want you to be consistent about it. Do it and let me know how it works. All right. Just that little bit. But I got space for questions now. I am ready for y'all. Let me know what's on your minds this week. What is happening with you? I want to know. All right. What's happening this week? First of all, we just got past this full moon. It was an eclipse. It was a super moon. It was a blood moon. It was everything moon. Did you have a hard time this week? Were you feeling a little emotional and a little angry and a little volatile because the moon was big in the sky? All right, it's starting to get smaller now, but that whole effect lasted a good 5 days. So I'm just letting you know, if you were having a hard time, it is getting ready to pass. All right. Next thing that I need you to know is I have opened the doors of my After Infidelity Mastermind, my mastermind group that will be meeting for the next 3 months. All right, through the holidays is open. The link is in my bio and it is in my Facebook group in the pinned post. I would love to get a good group started and get through the holidays with you feeling like the holidays aren't gonna overwhelm you, that you're not gonna break down because the holidays are coming and the relationship is so broken. I want to get started. We're gonna get started coming October 1st. We are going to get started on this so that once the holidays start rolling around, it's going to be a lot easier. You're going to have good memories made. And so then when next year rolls around, you're going to be like, damn, we made it through and we're in a really good place starting off this year. You're going to have that hope going. You're going to feel pretty good. So my After Infidelity Mastermind is open. Go check that out. Click on the link. It is 12 weeks of group coaching with me, and you get to text me. You can text with me and be like, hey, he sent me this text message. What should I think of this? Or I'm about to send him this text message. Should I send this? Or I'm feeling kind of some kind of way. I might say something mean to him. Should I do it? I will talk you off the ledge and everything. Okay. So get in that. All right. Go ahead and check out the link. But if you're on the fence and you're not sure that you're ready to spend money to work with me yet, test me out. Test me out. I am welcoming you to do so. Get on a call with me in my bio and on the pin post in the Facebook group. There is a link for my calendar. Pick a date, pick a time. Come on, talk to me. Okay. See if I am the coach for you. See if I can help you get to a better place. See if I can get you to your happily ever after. All right. It is an enchanted reconciliation call with me. I decided to change the name. I wanted to be a little bit more magical because I'm trying to tell you, I work some magic on these calls, girls. All right. So get up with me. If you're not sure about the mastermind, get on a call with me. See how it is to actually talk to me one on one and work with me. And then you can make good decisions about if you're going to join my mastermind. And I really want you to because I want this to be a good group and I want us to get through the rest of this year feeling wonderful together. All right, Christine. Hey, Christine. Glad you're here. You said we are 18 months post D Day, and 99% of the time we are good. But anytime we have an argument, my brain immediately goes to this affair. Then we fight more. I hate it. See, yeah. And see, that's the thing. It's 18 months out now. We got to start retraining our brain for that. Okay. It is natural that it will do that. That's an automatic trigger response from a trauma. All right. Every time the trauma comes up again in the form of I'm arguing with you and I'm feeling a little insecure, that brings that entire thing right back up to the surface. And then everything seems related to, oh, but you cheated. But you've got to recognize that that's probably not true, right? The arguments that you're having now probably have zero to do with him cheating. It's just the fact that you keep making that connection. So you got to, first of all, when that happens, shut your mouth. Do not say that to him, okay? You can't keep throwing it in his face when 99% of the time we're good and he is not giving you any reason to keep on bringing that up. You throwing it in his face is not really fair. That's kind of fighting ugly, okay? So instead of doing that, clamp down, don't say anything about it, and go to your neutral corner, okay? Go to your neutral corner, calm it down. You can feel it when it's happening, okay? When that argument starts, there is something that starts to well up. You can feel it before it gets to this point and it's come out of your mouth, okay? I want you to pay attention to it when it's way down here. And usually that's where it starts. It usually starts in your chest somewhere. It's a feeling, it's like a drop, it's a twist, it's a painful type of feeling somewhere in here before you get to the point where you're like, oh, well, he cheated, okay? When that feeling happens, you say, yeah, it's true, okay. When that feeling happens, that is when you stop. Okay. If we're in an argument and that feeling happens, you shut the hell up. I know you're probably right. I know you are. Okay. That's not the point. You are probably right exactly about what you're saying, but you are also being triggered at the same time. And right does not trump uh, triggered. Okay, so right will be existing, but you'll be triggered so badly that you will become wrong. Okay, I don't want you to become wrong. All right, I want you to always be on the right side. If you know you're right, I don't want you to ruin it with a trigger. Okay, so if that feeling, if it's starting up right in here, that is a sign. That is a, and it's giving you a sign that, hey, you're about to connect this to the last trauma that you all went through, and you're about to say something to him that is not actually true. So now you're on the wrong side. All right. You got to catch that feeling. If you can catch it down here and then say, you know what? Time out. Time out. I got to go sit down because I'm about to say some stuff that I know I shouldn't say. And you just go sit down, you go to your neutral corner, go drink some water. All right. That counteracts that fight or flight thing that you were about to go into. You were about to go into it. And so your adrenaline is probably pumping already. Go drink a little bit of water, eat a cracker or two. That will start up the digestion process back up in your body. And that is the signal to your body that you are safe and that we don't need to freak out right now. We don't need to go off. We are actually safe. We are drinking, we are eating, we are digesting. Everything is actually all right. So you can fool your body into believing that this is not as big a deal as you think it is. And then go to your neutral corner and you go journal. Okay, go write it down. All that stuff you were about to say to him, put it down in your journal. Okay, put it right there. And then you will not have jumped off the ledge and said all the mean stuff to him and brought up something that didn't have anything to do with the argument at all. So you're still in the right, right? You can come back and talk about it later on. If you're still right, if you still think you're right. If later on you're like, you know what? That wasn't actually that big a deal. Or you know what? I actually might have been wrong about that. You can actually have some time to think about it then. You're not ruining everything. You're not making your week bad because you responded to that trigger. Does that make sense to you? Hopefully it makes sense to everybody that's here with me. It's about knowing yourself and paying attention to your body and these responses that your body has. Your body gives you clues. It gives you a ton of them. You just have to know that it does that and then actually pay attention to it. And that 2 steps is hard. Okay. When you're in the moment, you're feeling it. It's hard to pay attention to what you're feeling, to know that your body is giving you warnings about stuff. You don't want to hear it. All right. Your body's like, oh, you're about to get really rowdy. You're like, well, that's just fine. And you just run with it. You got to start recognizing that warning for what it is and paying attention to it and then following through with doing something about it. And it's the same that you want with him. You want him to see you, pay attention to what's going on with you, and then respond in a positive way instead of a more destructive way. That's what you're asking of him. So if that's what you're asking of him, that's what you need to be asking of yourself too, because your healing is not really going to come from him. It's going to come from you. That level of care that you're asking for from him, I'm asking you to give it to yourself. Does that make sense? And I know people get mad about that. I know women tell me all the time, well, he's the one who did this, so I shouldn't have to do this for myself. He should fix it. But that's just impossible. That's giving entirely too much power to another human being. You are a human being. Honestly, you're a queen, you're a goddess, okay? You are the only one that can fix this. Okay. That you're the only one qualified. He is not qualified technician to go around and tinker inside your brain. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We ain't doing that. That is dangerous. He's not qualified for that. He is not a psychiatrist or anything. You think that he's supposed to climb inside your brain and fix your triggers and fix your stuff and it's gonna work out? No, no, it will not. It will not. Please don't think that that will ever work. The work is going to come from you, and it is going to be fantastic. It'll be like magic when you do it, but it's the building up to it. It's the unfairness of it all that kind of stops you. You're like, well, why should I have to do it? And you're absolutely right. That is unfair. However, nobody ever said life wasn't fair. And oftentimes it's unfair in your favor. So let's not worry so much about fair. Let's not worry about that. Let's go ahead and do what we need to do to fix ourselves, to get our brains in our bodies back in alignment with being calm and happy. All right. All right. Lots of love. Thank you so much, Christine. All right. Anybody else here? Give me questions. I got answers, honey. I got answers. Alma said, is it normal for me to be afraid to love him at the level I used to love him at before his betrayal? I'm definitely holding back. All right. Absolutely normal. For your question, that is totally normal. That is exactly what happens. Your trauma, your reaction to it is to shield yourself, to get smaller, to hide. Okay. That is what it is trying to make you do. You got to recognize that and then bust out. Decide that you're not going to be small. Decide that you're not going to be hidden. Decide that you are going to have this grand, amazing love that you have because you love this person so much that they betrayed you and you still want to work things out with them. That was a real love. That was a real big time, earth shattering, take your breath away love. Okay. You should have that. You shouldn't let anything in this whole wide world stop you from having that. You have already determined that that love was big enough and important enough for you to want to work this out. Okay. So if that is the case, because you're already acting on that, you're already staying, you're already trying to work on it, you're already trying to get closer, you're already in that space because that's what you want to do. If that is the case, then love as big as you possibly can. Open yourself up to it. Every time it feels scary, push through scary and get to the other side because everything you're wanting, everything you're desiring is on the other side of that fear. And you've got to be afraid and do it anyway. That is what it is. That is courage. That's what it is. To be courageous, it is to feel the fear and then to continue on with whatever it is that you were doing. For us, it is continuing on with opening our hearts again to love and forgiveness and compassion with the person that we want to love. Now, that's what we want. So we've got to remember that that's what we want and not allow this fear and this pain to make us play small. We should not have to play small with the love that we have. If you have a love big enough for forgiveness, if you have a love that is so intense to you that you are playing with unconditional love, that's what you're doing right now. You are actively working on having in your life the idea and the concept and the reality of unconditional love. All right. That's what you're going for. That's big time. You got to go for it. Don't close yourself off to it. Don't try and shield yourself. Open wide for it. Open wide for it. You're already here. You're already doing the thing. You are already trying to overcome pain and hurt and betrayal as it is. So open yourself up to it. Open yourself up when you feel like you are clamping down and closing in. Open yourself back up. Whatever it is that your brain is telling you so badly not to do, it'll be screaming to it. Be like, oh, don't let him close to you. Don't let him kiss you. Don't hug him. Don't give him dinner. All of those things, whatever it is that your brain is like, no, don't do it. Do exactly that. Do exactly that. And your brain is like, no, don't open yourself up. Don't let him hug you and love you. Open yourself up and let him hug you and love you. All right. Whatever the fear and the pain and the trauma are screaming in your head is the complete opposite of what you'll actually need for this relationship to survive. Okay. Completely opposite. Whatever the screaming is saying is wrong. Do not believe it. And it will sound so urgent in your head that you'll want to believe it. You will think that, well, of course, it's so loud in there. And it is screaming and it's saying that I'm going to be in danger and this is going to be a bad thing. It is doing that to make you hide, to make you be small, to make you pull back. It does not have any desire for you to be in a relationship. And if you want the relationship more than you want to be alone and hiding and protecting yourself, then you can't listen to what that yelling is doing in your brain. If you want to be by yourself, listen to the yelling. It's a very, very simple thing. You will push away everybody. It's not just him. You will push away everybody in your vicinity when you do what the fear is screaming at you to do in your brain. It will expand. It does not just stay with that one person, because that's how fear works. It expands, it grows, it changes your brain. So if you start off with him, I'm hiding from him, then it starts well, I'm hiding from my cousins, and I'm hiding from my parents, and then I'm hiding from my brothers and sisters, and then I'm hiding from my friends, and then I'm hiding from my coworkers because I feel safer not exposing myself. Being in this little tiny hole and hiding feels like I'm safe, but you're disconnected now. You're not close to anybody now because you've told your brain that, yes, it's all right for me to be isolated. It's all right for me to hide and be smaller. You told your brain that that's all right. And so it will continue to expand that to everybody if you're not careful. So I don't want that type of thing to happen for you. I want you to recognize that you are having this very, very visceral, very, very automatic response to this trauma. And you don't need to continue to do that. You don't have to do that. All right. Everybody, got any other questions for me? Anything else? Let me see. Let me refresh. Let me know if you got any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints for me. I was talking to somebody yesterday. Christine, we were talking yesterday. No. It was Michelle. I was talking to yesterday, and we were talking about addressing the affair partner. Let me just go over that real quick. All right. I feel like we should have some rules for this. Okay. I need you to understand that unless and it's not actually terribly often, but unless she was just completely unaware of you, that she knew about you, she didn't care. She didn't care at all. Whatever it was that was going on with her was painful enough that she was like, this other woman on the planet doesn't matter. I'm going to take and use her husband to be able to make myself feel better. All right. You going to talk to her does nothing. Does absolutely nothing. And I know that it seems like in the sisterhood, we should understand this about one another. You should be able to go to another woman and sit down woman to woman and be like, yo, you ruined things for me. What the hell? But it doesn't really work like that. I wish it did. I wish it did. But most of the time, they're not going to care. And I feel like going to them, somebody whose self-esteem was this bad in the first place, that they knew doggone well they were with a man who was not available to them, and they still went ahead and opened themselves up to an intimate relationship with somebody they knew they couldn't have. I feel like that's beneath us, okay? I feel like just you trying to address that is beneath you as the queen. I feel like you should not be going out and taking your royal self and all your gorgeous silks and brocades and going down into the barn and talking to the peasant girl who the king happened to sleep with. Okay. I feel like it's just doing too much. All right. If we are the queens, then we should not have to lower ourselves to try and explain to another woman why what she did was wrong. And you go into her expecting her to be apologetic to you is pretty crazy too, because she's not going to be doing that. Whatever was going on with her, she wasn't feeling apologetic when she did it. She wasn't worried about you at all when she did it. So she's not going to come with that contrition when you come to talk to her about it. All right. So let's not do this to ourselves anymore. If you don't talk to this woman ever again in life, that is fine. She is nobody. You've got to treat the peasant girl like the peasant girl. And that works the same when they're all in limerence and they are just, enamored by the peasant girl. Okay. You acting like she's a threat raises her status. All of a sudden, she's not some peasant girl anymore. She must be a duchess because the queen is concerned. All right. She must be higher up because that is actually causing the queen grave concern and upset in her spirit. If you look like whatever, play with your toy and put the toy down. Let me know when you're finished playing with the toy and act like you are regal and you don't care about that. It snaps through that doggone limerence fog so fast. Ooh, it's quick too, because your belief that she's a threat reinforces his belief that she's special. All right. So if you just don't do that, you don't play that game, be like, oh, she's not special. I know you'll be back. You just playing with a new toy right now. It's immature and it's not cute, but I know you'll be back. If you treat it like that, a lot of the time that limerence will break right up because you are destroying that fantasy that it is real and it's such a visceral thing. And oh, she treats me so good, and my wife should be threatened by her. If you're not actually threatened by her, and you act like you're not actually threatened by her, that crumbles that fantasy that he's got going on, that she's so much better. And then you're being cool, you're calming yourself down, you're not yelling at her or dressing her, and he is spending more time with her and getting more and more annoyed with her, because there is nothing in the world that stops an affair faster than him having free reign to go play with them. Okay. When they get to sitting there in each other's face all the time, and she sees the other parts of him that are not the part that she wanted, because chances are it's a what is it, the 80-20 probability, or the 80-20 theory, I think it is, that you get 80% of what you need from like one person, but like you really can't get 100% of all you need from one person. That's really draining. That's a lot. That's a codependent relationship. So and no, very unhealthy. So if you were getting 80% from somebody and you're feeling like, oh, this is a pretty good relationship, but that 20% is shiny and new and you want it real bad, you can get that 20 from somebody else and it's shiny and new and wonderful getting that 20. But the 80 is still missing. The 80 came from you. So he gets the shiny new toy, and then after you're done playing with the shiny toy, then you're like, oh, the toy doesn't do anything else. The toy doesn't have any responsibilities. The toy ain't trying to help me in life. The toy is not trying to do the budget. She's not trying to stay on budget. All sorts of things start coming up when you start trying to get that whole 80% that person never gave you out of them. All right. So there's nothing that busts that thing up faster than allowing him to go along and play. Go play with your new play toy, and then we'll talk about it when you get back. Right? Michelle said, oh yes. Because go and address them. We're not doing that. That's beneath us. All right. We're too cute. We're too demure to be run around here, out here. That's not cutesy. Okay. We are not going to be out here running around chasing down behind dirty bitches that did us dirty. No. We do not have time for that in our lives. We must go ahead and insist upon being the queens that we are, because that's the only way we're going to heal. That's where it's going to come from. You being the queen and you being the main character of this story, that's where your healing is going to come from. You chasing around behind them does nothing. Does absolutely nothing for you, because all of the power rests in you. Okay? All right. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything you want to talk to me about? Anything at all while I'm still here? Because you know I love to talk to you about this stuff. I'm trying to tell you. It's something when you actually like accomplish it, like you will feel like Superwoman. You'll be like, I cannot believe I pulled this off. I still look back on it like one of my highest accomplishments, and with as much pain as I was in, and as much as I wanted to push him into traffic, we made amazing. And it's like we'll be married 21 years and together 23 in in October. Yeah, that's a lot. But we will be married that long. And, all of this happened. And it's still very, very much present in my day to day because I talk to you all about it. But the skills and the coping skills and the ways that I learned not to be triggered and to calm myself and center myself and get control over my emotions, that serves me every day. Every single solitary day, I use something that I have been teaching you all every day. So this doesn't stop once you're healed up. This continues to be things that you can do that are useful to you in all sorts of situations that will arise in your life because you got a lot of years left to live. Okay. Together with somebody, even apart from him, you are going to have a lot of situations arise that you don't anticipate really happening. And if you have these coping skills available and you've used them before and they have worked for you, it is much, much easier to apply them to the next situation and have them work for you again. Okay? All right, so y'all. I think that's all. So let's do our affirmations. Now, you know how I feel about an affirmation. Whatever you say over and over to yourself is an affirmation. We have positive affirmations and we have negative affirmations. If you keep saying over and over that I will never be loved, or our relationship was never real because he was able to cheat on me, or his love was just never true. If you say that over and over again, that's what your brain will believe. It will believe anything you tell it, anything at all. It is designed to be smart, but it's kind of like one of those smartphones that does dumb things. It will do the automatic thing, but the automatic thing isn't automatically what you should be doing. All right. So we've got to get back in control of our brains. We got to tell our brains which way we want them to go, steer them that way, make sure they go that way, and then they start taking off with us. If you are constantly telling yourself negative affirmations, that is what you are affirming to yourself, that you believe this negative thing about you. If you do positive ones, you are affirming that you believe the positive. So I want you to be purposely looking for the positive, okay? Looking for the good in you. Every time you're like, oh, I'm not enough, I am most certainly enough. I am more than enough. I am a big deal, okay? I am queen. I am main character. I am more than enough for anybody, all right? But the only person you have to be enough for is you. You don't have to be enough for anybody else because you can't fill up anybody else. You can only fill up you. So don't worry about being enough for anybody else. Worry about if you're doing enough for you to be where you want to be who you want to be. Tend to that first, okay? When you with that, oh, I'm not enough. No, 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 no. I'm plenty. Right? I'm everything. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's do an affirmation here. This one says, today I am adventurous. Today I will get out of my comfort zone and try something I've never tried before. That's challenging, right? That's scary to do. But like I tell you, everything that you want is on the other side of that fear. It's right through there. If you bust through the fear, you don't even have to hang a left or anything. Just go straight through the fear, get to what you want. That's what's going to happen. All right. So today I am adventurous. Today I will get out of my comfort zone and try something I've never tried before. All right. Make sure in the comments, let me know what you're going to try that you've never tried before if you have decided to do so. Let me know. All righty, y'all. I think that is it. I don't see any other questions. Let me refresh it, make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right, you all go ahead. Make sure if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments. I will answer. I do not mind. If you're catching on the replay, go ahead and put them on down there. I got you. But in the meantime, I need you to join up with me in some way, shape, or form. Getting my How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity totally free. You can read through it step by step, exactly how you need to heal and exactly how you're going to reconcile with him. It gives you everything. My whole idea of how to heal, my whole formula for it is in that PDF. Get it, okay? Then there is the free call with me. Get on a call with me. I have cleared some space until October when I start my After Infidelity Mastermind. I've cleared space to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you. So get on a call with me, okay? Even if you've been on a call with me before, hit me up again. Let me see how you're doing. And then check out the link to my After Infidelity Mastermind. I'm trying to tell you, it does beautifully. When you have this group of supportive women to help walk you through all the rest of the dream formula, all the stuff that you need to do to be able to heal, and you got other women who are being brave with you, who are doing the exact same things with you, it's much, much easier. You feel more at ease. You feel like, okay, I can actually do this. And I'm not crazy for doing it because look, it's other women right here doing it. All right. So I need you to jump on this. Get on the After Infidelity Mastermind. You need to join up. We're starting in October. We're going through the end of the year. So you will have me with you in your pocket all the way through the holidays, through the new year. If you get triggered by that, you'll have me available right there with you to be able to soothe you and get you off the ledge, okay? All right, y'all. That's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Remember, do your deep breathing, do your journaling, get an attitude of gratitude, and stop asking all those questions. Do your affirmations. Don't do what the fear tells you to do. And I love you. And I'm so, so proud of you. All right. All right, y'all. That's it. I will see you again next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. I'll talk to you again then. Bye over here on Instagram. And bye over here on Facebook and YouTube. Bye.